Everyone, welcome back to another exciting installment of the Jaraci Cup. It's going to be another game by Pepto-Bismol, your favorite, against Cool here. It's going to be a CVS, very fun, like the pharmacy. This video is not sponsored, don't worry. We do have our info.txt here, so let's go ahead and read it real quick. So you can see it's going to be a Sabon pick for SickIGN and Cool matches with the Coalition. Looks like they're going to do the same thing for the next game as well. And SickIGN takes College Teeth for game 1. It's going to be KT Alt for the second one. We saw Cookies and Cool play a game on KT Alt that went pretty well, but I don't think I've ever seen him on College Teeth yet, so see how this game goes. Savant versus Coalition is kind of a fun matchup. I feel like we don't catch this all the time. But it's a different one for sure. You know, Cool's playstyle really revolves around the tools that Coalition has and Savant doesn't. The ground-based turrets for the base runners. He puts down a lot of them if you've seen this guy play. And it makes his main bases really, really hard to hit. And I think the answer to that is to be proactive around the map and play with good macro, but I feel like SickIGN has typically struggled with that. So this is probably a matchup that Cool will do pretty well in. I want to set the stakes as well, of course. This is probably a competition between these two for the #1 slot. For the #2 slot. #1 slot will be Cookies, almost certainly. So this is actually a very important match, and any game that you can win here is going to be good for Cool, because SickIGN has more seeding points. So if you tie, SickIGN wins. Do you have LAV Fab coming out for Cool? I see he does have his SC on the way, about to pop, I believe. And he's gone 8 up here. Oh no, it's actually 7, okay. He's got the 1 on RUs instead of 2. I actually typically go 8 up in CBC matches, or CBS is the case maybe, because I feel like there's not very much opportunity for aggression. But and you can see SickIGN moving up to 2 base as well, no surprises there. He did have the base runner retire, so that makes him get this out a little bit faster, but he'll have to get some scouting on the field with the LAVs. Yeah, but that's just kind of how CVC goes, typically. So nothing wrong with it. I think it's actually a pretty good way to play. I've got to say, I really don't like the base runner retire, actually, in the current meta, but we'll have to see. It's just, you know, as things develop a bit more, but the base runner costs less, so you get a little bit less money out of it for retiring, so it feels like a little bit less powerful than it has been typically. Could set down a turret here to keep this base runner alive, but otherwise I think it probably just dies. And this is a problem with bringing base runners out in the beginning. They are weak to the LAVs here. They can't really defend themselves at all, so Cool does actually have some LAVs of his own. He's going to try to defend here. Looks like he does want to set a turret down. It's actually not a great position though, because it's like line of sight. Well, maybe it has line of sight over here, but it's definitely blocked like right behind the hill. Here's the turret. Base runner wants to run this way so he can get over the hill. Oh, he's out of 50 HP. Barely lives there, barely. But again, look, these LAVs can just hide right here, and they can jump over the hill and kill this turret. That's not really going to be a problem. So I feel like Cool is kind of pushing too hard for this extraction here. Probably he just has to give up the base runner at this point. SickIGN has AV Fab on the way, of course. Actually, no tech for Cool. Oh wait, he already has AV tech. That's what I'm looking at here. I'm very smart. Yeah, like I said, this turret not really in the optimal position here. You really want it like back here where it has vision all around. Actually, up on this hill is like a really good place to be. And base runner will be denied. That bodes pretty well for SickIGN, who, of course, he retired his base runner, so he got some money back for it. Cool actually spent 300 Cs with his base runner and still kind of got nothing. In fact, I don't think SickIGN even lost 1 LAV. Looks like he did, but just 1. A couple AVs here, though, so Cool is not going to be in danger of losing his main base. We actually have LAV ups coming out for SickIGN, too, but that's not going to allow them to fight these AVs. Especially with armor teching for Cool, which he apparently has. So still a pretty even game here, but I think SickIGN pretty happy with his advantage in the early game. Wants to be careful he doesn't throw it away here, though. Yeah, he sees the AVs and he's just going to back out. know, there's not really much you can do there. LAVs can still get field control in this scenario, right? You can make your opponent spread a little bit thin to try and cover all the places you can poke. But in that case, I think SickIGN really wants 3 base right now. That's what he needs to be doing. And sure enough, he's building some salvagers here. Getting Railgun Fab first, though, so he may be planning on attacking a bit more as well. Cool typically techs pretty wide, but he uses all the units he techs quite well, so I would expect to see air in this game eventually. Yeah, this is good, right? You know that you can't attack on this flank, so you drive over to this one. I like what he's doing now. Does have some AVs out, too. There it is, fighting gunship, actually really early. But I think that these 2 AVs can probably hold off the LAV blob here. Maybe not if they were all full health like this, but... He did just tech armor 1, I saw. Well, now there's 4 of them, so I'll tell you who wins that. LAVs are not going to get trapped, though. They do have the boost. Well, I say that. They're actually taking fire. Oh, no. Oh dear. They're taking a lot of fire now. He's going to lose 3 of them so far. You guys 4 and 5 about to die. Yikes. Alright, well, I take it all back. A little too big for the riches there, perhaps. I generally have felt like in CVC games, LAVs are not the most powerful, so it is a bit surprising to see them being invested into so much. Salvager's dying on the 3rd too, so this is actually a really good turn of play for Cool. He's now evened up the units lost tab, he's denying 3 base. And if he's building an SC right now, that'd be amazing, but either way, he does have TAC Bomber Fab on the way, so you see what the threat is going to be. Wants to go for the air tech instead of the eco. SickIGN having to evacuate his main base, too. Something that's looking pretty bad for him. Yeah, Railgun gonna fall here too. Barely. Actually, that took a long time to kill. Anytime you're killing Railguns with AVs, it feels pretty good because they cost so much more if you factor in the RUs. It looks like Cool is gonna be pushed back now. Look how much time he's denying on the main base, and again, the real threat here is gonna be the bombers, which he's just finished teching, so... The more time you can make your opponent be dealing with this ground army, the more time you're preparing for this bomber hit to really be just devastating. Has the carry production upgrade on the way, but he really would like to start building those bombers now, I reckon. Doesn't have any RU, that looks like. Yeah, I would actually flip one of these CU guys onto RUs on this base just to get him out a little faster. This SC is as good as dead, because it's at half health already. In fact, I think even just one bomber can take this out, although that's always a little risky to try for, but... Plus, you might not like to reveal that you've got the bombers until you have a bit more of a hit prepared. He's got the production upgrade, he might as well build one more salvager here. Maybe that's what he's doing, because he does have the rally point on it. Production tab and DOK bugged as always, though, so we're not going to be able to see until it comes out. Heavy's 3 is actually pretty good for SickIGN because he's going to want to make sure these railguns are tanky against the bombers. But, I mean, he doesn't know that there's bombers yet, but this tech is just generally good. And the other thing is that missile batteries become really tanky when they have armor 3. They have like 2,000 max health, I think, so you can use that to keep yourself alive. This probe, by the way, just kind of marking positions that the bombers want to hit. And it is going to be that SC. I think this will die in one shot. And now what do you do with the other bombers? I guess maybe you just go for, maybe you just go for the railguns here. I mean, these are pretty high-value targets. That is going to be what he does. Kills one. And actually Cool now upgrading his LAVs as well. That's kind of interesting. Maybe this is a response to seeing the railguns, but I think with AAVs in tow, it's still going to be a bit hard to kill the railguns here. Would really like to see SickIGN pull his carrier back here as well, because he is, you know, down the SC on this side, so you're not mining very well from here unless you bring the carrier over. This is 3 base versus 1 right now, so, you know, as things go, this is pretty good for Cool. he's definitely dominating this game so far. We do have missile battery fab on the way. Here comes that 3rd bomber being built in the hangar now. And bombers are so good at this. I mean, you get your opponent behind, and it feels so hard for them to get back into it. AA turret posts would be good, so he's built this base runner here, but it's still on the initial cooldown. And the probe, again, just marking positions that he can attack with the bomber. This is actually not one, though, I don't think. It's just salvagers, I think. Well, I mean, killing salvagers isn't bad either. Maybe he'll do it anyway. I guess he'll just circle around menacingly. Here's a hit on the AAVs. If you can kill all the AAVs, you know, that's pretty good. You'll be able to finish off the railguns there with the bombers. I think this guy just dropped his bomb over here on the salvagers. He might not have actually gotten any kills there, but... Here come the LEVs. They do have armor too, so they're going to be pretty tanky, but they don't do a whole lot of damage. This is armor 3 for SickIGN. No smokes though, means these railguns are going to fall pretty quick. You need to be careful of the splash damage here. This is a window to use these, Oh, he doesn't have any money actually. He's only got like money for 1. Oh boy. Yeah, I can see the thread unraveling for SickIGN here. This ain't good. Missile battery is finally out. The bomb lands on these salvagers, but not gonna kill any, as you can see. Damage 2 coming for the LAVs. Bombers are in the air again, probably looking for this SC as their next target. Damage 2 is on the way from Cool as well. Damage 2 is going to be very, very brutal for these LEDs as well. Let's make them kill the rails a little. Well, there's no railguns left, actually. Maybe it's not quite as good as I thought. But perhaps the best thing is just to be teching these heavy vehicles upgrades then, because he does have the railguns pretty much irrelevant at this point. You're never going to be able to build anymore as SickIGN. And look, these AVs just driving through the targeting jammer, they just don't care. He's kind of slapping him at the wall at this point. Like, there's just so much more money on the field for Cool. Missile battery gonna get killed here. Maybe wants to kill up this A turret post as well, so that he can clear the way for the bomber. Just marauding the main base though, of course, all mining denied here. He actually didn't lose the SC yet, which is good. But yeah, there's really no coming back from this position. Cool's army is just way too big. Looks like he's even gonna try for like the triple extract. Well, he can't quite triple extract. One of them's on cooldown. Brutality. Here come a couple more railguns now, but the bombers are gonna say no. Yeah. Like I said, bombers are pretty good at snowballing a lead. Yeah, and SickIGN's finally had enough of this. He's gonna GG out. All right, let's jump into game 2. This is good for Cool again. This is probably the decider for who gets into the upper bracket here, so... If you're 2-0ing SickIGN, you're pretty much guaranteed to get in. I'm trying to remember who else is in their group anyway. It's Cookies, I know, but... Yeah, 215 Jesse, right. But Cool took the 2-0 against him. Should be fine to, Oh, yeah? For moments like this. Well, it just seems to be a favorite map of yours. I don't know, you can shed more light on that, I suppose. But yeah, I'm pretty sure SickIGN will 215 Jesse as well, but they haven't played their series yet, so we'll see. We'll see. But either way, Cool wins this game, he's in. I mean, pretty much, I think that's just guaranteed. If he loses this, I think that he is not in if SickIGN 2-0's 215. So, you know, you're not out yet if you lose this game, but you'd really like to win it. You get you get your fate in your own hands that way. You don't know it? Well, sometimes maps are like that. You just kind of feel good on one, so. But you know, picking for comfort is not a bad thing either. I do think it's a good map for Soban just because it's a really good railgun map. Actually a good LAV map too, which is a way that SickIGN likes to play, but I think that's not very good in CBC, so. Probably gonna see the same as the last game here. Well, actually, I guess that's not entirely true. We do have the base runner being retained for SickIGN. Does some damage to that probe too, but isn't able to kill it. But it's gonna be SC first for both sides. Cool's SC notably later here because he did go 7-up to his opponent's 6. But overall, that should net a higher economy in the end. The more salvages you can build before the SC, I think the stronger your eco becomes. Although building that 8th one to mine RUs doesn't really help you there, so that is kind of an interesting consideration to make. There's the SC. And both players getting LAV fab as well. Here comes the probe for SickIGN. Wants to see what's going on over there. Again, you don't really reckon it's going to be early aggro, but you never know, so it is good to fire that probe out and just find out. Probe for Cool actually probably wants to be scouting this location. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Sees the carrier, so he knows, okay, yep, that's 2 base. And looks like SickIGN going to do the same thing. So no surprises here, both players going to get AV tech as well. And we should move into a pretty mirrored mid-game here. Actually, a turret already getting set down for Cool. This is pretty prophylactic, but like I said in the last game, this is really how he likes to play. We didn't really see that too much. He didn't ever get attacked, it felt like, so didn't need to put any turrets down at all. But this game, it seems he's going to be a little bit more defensive. Tell you one thing, if your opponent is never attacking you, you're probably winning. yeah, I mean, it'll tell you if you get attacked or whatever. Or are you talking about the turret here? Oh! Did lose the probe over on this side. Base runner managed to get the snipe there. Maybe this one will go down too, but LAVs don't kill probes terribly quickly, so it is going to escape. So if you got like 10 or 20 LAVs, they'll kill in half a second, but obviously not the case with just one. TJ being deployed here, you probably don't need that. That's actually kind of a long cooldown, but SickIGN can be fairly confident that there's no attack coming anytime soon, so it's probably not a bad idea. And actually, with the AV in tow, he is going to get the kill on this LAV here. He's already got armor too, wow. Cool gonna grab the artifact, but he won't be able to extract this just yet, so he'll bring it back home. I don't actually like it when players do this as Saban, but as Coalition, I think it's fine. The base runner being faster is not usually a big deal for them. Whereas for Saban, where you can move and fire the targeting jammer out, I think it's a big deal to lose the speed when you hold the artifact. But he shouldn't move out like this, because he knows that there's AAVs in the area, so if you drive out, you're probably just gonna die. Yeah, I don't like this. It's better to just keep him at home and hold that artifact for a time that you can extract.
Enemy contact on sensors. Roger, awaiting orders. Enemy sighted.
Uh-oh. Photos taken moments before disaster. Yep. And the AV is so much faster. Even if you drop a turret down immediately, the AV can just kill it on its own. So you're never going to be able to get away here. And that is going to be one dead base runner. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Just something to clean up for next time. This probe here abusing the Kartoba being a line of sight blocker. Very nice, very nice. Wouldn't it be cool if... Yeah, I'm not even going to say it. Railgun Fab on the way for SickIGN. And again, looks like it's going to be fighter and gunship for Cool. Now last time, It went pretty well, I would say, all things considered. So we'll see what SickIGN's answer is here. This is important to get right this time because, like, he could, you know, he could get eliminated from upper bracket right here. So we'll see what he does. Probe scouting it would be the first move, I'm sure, but this is still 40 seconds out, so he hasn't seen it yet. Gonna go retreat to the safety of the Kartoba here. It's actually kind of a big attack he's prepping with the AAVs. It can always be an answer to errors to attack when it's being set up. Would love to see him get this production upgrade because he's got a lot of money in the bank right now, but it's railguns for now. And on paper, that'll allow him to fight the AVs and really make an attack on his opponent's position. But again, if fighter and gunship comes out and just kills all the railguns, that's gonna feel pretty sad. Cool's actually lost, wow, a lot more money than his opponent here. He SickIGN did lose one probe, but it's not small potatoes, you know what I mean? AV goes down there too, so SickIGN trading pretty well. I think he has the armor advantage. Yeah, this is armor 1 versus armor 2 right now. Attack bomber fat on the way straight up, but I think actually this is a situation where Cool really needs to get strike fighters. Oh, and the probe saw the fighter and gunship tech. Okay, if SickIGN's paying attention, he'll get missile battery fab. There it is. So he's definitely reacting a lot better this time. He's cognizant of what's happening. He's getting ready to defend against it. Double base runner as well. I think this is probably for the AA turret posts. Can also drop TJs down. And look at this, he's already putting down a AA post right here as well. Yeah, so he ain't gonna get caught unaware by this error this time. No, no, no. But he doesn't know how much air is in the hangar right now. It's actually none. I mean, he could push up here, but he can't know that. So he's playing safe. Which I think is good. In fact, these railguns should even be a little further back. Yeah, it looks like he agrees. Armor 3 would also be big here, because Armor 3 is going to allow you to be a bit more tanky with the missile batteries and all of the ground units. So if you can upgrade your entire army at the same time, that's usually pretty good. Railgun's still pretty far out here. There's still no anti-air in that spot, but no strike fighters means that Cool's not going to be able to capitalize on this just yet, but a bomber's on the way. Here come the missile batteries, but they're still back at home, mind you. Looks like the double base runner actually was... Oh no, they were built, they just went over here. One AV gets picked off, but here comes the bomber. I think the critical thing to hit right now is these railguns here. He seems to agree. And these are so bunched up. Oh no. Yeah, that's pretty good. So Bomber's first hit is pretty good. This turret is not going to fall either, by the way, and yes, he can just heal it up, so that feels pretty sad. And 2 more Bombers on the way too. Now, SickIGN has anti-air, right? But he's got to use it well. So, a couple TJs being spammed out here to try and, oh my gosh, look at this. That's cute. This TJ is actually being TJ'd by the other TJ. So you can see it has less vision radius. But yeah, just trying to buy some time over on this third base, not lose any salves. But he just needs to allocate like 1 AV. It's not a big deal if he just goes over there. But we're going to look for something over here, but there's actually quite a lot of anti-air anywhere that he would get a relevant hit. So I think that SickIGN is fairly covered. Could honestly probably do with more AA turret posts, to be fair. Main base is already being evacuated, oh man. Yeah, he really doesn't want to lose units again. Looks like this bomber is actually just going to settle for the ALM, which is kind of weird. But might have been a misclick there. And it goes down! Oh no. That's not good. So Cool loses a bomber there. He did deny mining on this base, but still, you don't like that for a bomber. If he can hit these railguns though, he'll be able to push in with the AVs perhaps, so... Yeah. Yep, it's 2 railguns there. I really like targeting one that's full health, because then it'll kill the one who's low. Actually, LAV up's coming out? That's a little bit surprising. I feel like LAVs are not going to do anything for you here. Because that's a lot of AVs. So... AV is really straying away from the anti-air though. This bomber could really just wreck him right now. Doesn't see it though. Couple strike fighters building too. This might be to deny probes. Looks like the AV is gonna back up a little.
Enemy contact on the board. Green line confirmed. Ready update.
And still no other tech being picked for either player here. It's the Great Wall over here. I like this. I actually do unironically like this. I mean, it'll buy a lot of time. Makes it awkward for your opponent to maneuver over on this side. Strike Fighter gets a little close to the missile batteries here, but again, he just wants to kill probes, it looks like.
Hostile contact on the board. Enemy signature identified.
It looks like this bomber is looking for the 3-base location, but there's actually no SC here. These two cells are low though, so he is gonna get a kill. That's kind of funny though. Yo, where's 3-base? I wanted to blow something up. I think SickIGN definitely responded better to the air here, but he's still taking a lot of damage from it, so you need to be careful. Like right here, this is a vulnerability. You know, you gotta stay with your anti-air, and if that means building more of it, then you've just kind of got to do it. The other idea is to go fighter and gunships that you can handle it, but Magic Cell being teched here as well, I really don't like that, because it's a very expensive tech and it doesn't really get you much in this game state. This AV in the TJ, he's gonna come out and his sensors will turn on and be like, oh, there's a million guys here, I guess I'm dead. But again, like, this is what SickIGN would like to be doing with his AVs, but he can't because there's bombers out, so his tech is still paying off for cool. AV goes down and these guys can even just leave, you know, they got done what they wanted to. Deny that 3-base for a little bit longer, make his opponent react to it. I feel like Cool is playing a pretty nice game here. And that's good, because again, this is the decider for the upper bracket, so... These batteries have a lot of range. I think that's a good thing, mind you, but... Especially because they can't be upgraded like the Galzian one. This probe here just being turbo annoying, you love to see it. It's actually like inside the Kartova. I don't know the physics of this, but it seems questionable. Looks like a big old AV fight can happen over here. It's armor 3 for SickIGN, armor 3 for Cool, so they're equal in that sense. Anytime railguns are here, you know SickIGN will win that fight, but I think the numbers are pretty even actually. It's 9 versus 12. I love this probe usage, right? He just catches eyes on the AVs so that he can do damage to them at long range with the railguns. Just has to be careful that he doesn't get bombed out, right? But I mean, I think he's playing fairly. Oh no! He's gonna pull the entire AV blob over to answer a couple of LEDs. This leaves the railguns completely exposed. This is what he doesn't have to do. Or in fact, what he has to not do in order to win. Smoke being used here to try and keep these railguns alive. But yeah, you can see they go down real quick. Oh, and the bombers are here too! Oh, it's a massive hit on the AVs! That's everything that he wants. I mean, even if you lose a bomber for this, which it looks like he won't, by the way, that's totally worth it. Oh, man. And Cool just completely wipes the army right there. Well coordinated fight. Third base, out of the question. This SC is going to have to die here, I'm sure. big float by Cool, apparently. SickIGN is managing to spend all of his money, that's good. But I think the problem there is that it's because he doesn't have any money to spend. And Cool gonna attempt for the artifact now. And these AVs have just been absolute killers so far. Even if they go down now, I think you really got what you wanted. And it's not clear that he can even kill them anyway. These LAVs here getting a little bit too gumptious, I think, though. They're gonna have to run away. It looks like that pesky probe is finally gonna die, as this base runner attempts to figure out how to drive in a straight line. He didn't pass driving school. And And these AVs here just gonna try and trade out for whatever they can. Really nice micro by SickIGN. Keeps that guy alive. Bit of high ground is nice here for Cool. I would have maybe tried to make a stand there, because these guys are gonna die anyway, but you can try to trade out a bit of value. But then again, there are the bombers on the field, so maybe if you can pull your opponent far enough away from the anti-air, you can do some real damage that way. Artifact goes out. His probe might die as well. Yeah, the triple bomber here just gonna try and hit the railguns. Does a lot of damage, but actually kind of fails to get the kills. This is what I'm always saying about getting armor 3. I mean, even disregarding the armor value, it gives you 200 health by the time you have that. Look, that kept him alive, so... Always like to see the points I'm always making be proved. And railguns here now for Cool. This is going to be probably the nail in the coffin move for him. Wants to just end the game with this, because now he's finally got something that can fight without having to pull off some kind of tactic, and he's got a lot of them. He has 6 on both flanks. I think some more AVs would still be good, but... And of course, main base, well defended with turrets, as always, but... At this point, maybe it's better to start, like, putting turrets down over here and set up some hard points on that ridge. That's something that I think is really fun to see Coalition players do, and we don't really see it often enough. Smoke's going to be used here to keep these AVs safe, but still, the railguns managed to find a couple of kills. And now it's going to be a proper rail-on-rail fight. This is actually decent numbers for SickIGN, and they both have the full-ups, so this is not necessarily something Cool wins, but you look on the other flank and you see he's pushing there too. That makes this all the more difficult. Looks like they're both going to back away with 4 left. Well, SickIGN actually has 5. These two are really low, but they can get healed up, so that's pretty nice. And power 2 on the way for SickIGN. Same for Cool. Very nice. SickIGN actually has mobility as well. But, you know, mobility upgrade doesn't do too much if you never move the carriers, so... These rails here have high ground. This is not a fight that SickIGN can win, but it looks like he's going to try for it. This is maybe the Hail Mary try. Still air here for SickIGN too, so... Or, sorry, for Cool. Air for SickIGN to deal with, I guess you could say. Here come the bombers. It's going to blow up the railgun blob there. They will take losses for it, but I think it's worth it. And actually a couple of LABs. That could go a long way for Cool. Or sorry, for Sick. Because there's no AVs left in the army here. But still, I think Cool just has what he needs to take this to the win now. Carry getting powered up though. He does have power 2 about to finish, and he'll power up the weapons with that. You really want to take out of the armor and put into range though, so that you can hit these things more reliably. The big advantages of the Saban carrier is that it has a lot more range than you might expect. At max range, it actually has the same range as a railgun. Yeah, carrier gonna do what it can here, but typically against this number of railguns, you're not gonna win that fight. And indeed, there's even turrets getting set up. Sunder on the Saban carrier plus turrets, that's gonna be nasty. And you can see how much damage he takes. He's gonna power up the armor and try and get out of there. No SCs left at all though, so I mean the eco is just in shambles. And that just has to be the game for Cool. It's maybe gonna take a couple minutes to finish, but I think he's done it. Oh, it's not even gonna take that long. Look, he has some bombers coming. Oh dear. One more hit like that and the game will be over. 4th artifact extracts too, I mean just in case Cool needed more win conditions. I feel like he's got them all set up right now. And that's the game. So there you have it, Cool getting a 2-0 SickIGN, and that guarantees his spot in the upper bracket. That's great news for him. This is his first tournament, you know? And like, SickIGN has definitely been one of our less consistent players, I think you can say, but... still, he's no slouch either. I mean, beating SickIGN is definitely something that Cool should remember as a nice moment for him in his tournament career, so... Yeah, that's great. And I'm really excited to see what Cool can do in the upper bracket. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I sure did. And I'll catch you in the next one.